Scorpio, pause right here and breathe with me for a second, because what I'm about to say is not random background noise on your feed. It is a direct response to something your soul has been whispering in the dark. Something big is moving toward you, closer than you realize, and tomorrow, December 3rd, or the very next sunrise after this message finds you, carries a turning point energy that you are not meant to sleepwalk through. You did not stumble into this video by accident. You were led here by the same invisible current that has been tugging at your heart, making you feel like something is about to happen, like you forgot to do something important, like you are standing in a doorway without fully knowing what room you are about to step into. That feeling is not anxiety, it is alignment. That nervous flutter in your chest is not just stress. It is your intuition standing up, clearing its throat, saying, "Listen now, because this is for you." Tomorrow's energy is not just another square on the calendar. It is a mirror, a spotlight, and a gentle alarm clock ringing all at once. And it is about to reveal what you missed. The sign you overlooked, the pattern you normalized, the opportunity you almost dismissed as nothing. So, Scorpio, stay with me, don't click away. And before we dive into the depths, I want you to anchor your consent to this message. In the comments, or quietly in your own heart, say, "I am ready to see what I could not see before." Every time you declare that, you send out a signal to the universe that you are done being in the dark about your own life. This isn't fear-mongering. This is preparation. This isn't about predicting disaster. It is about preventing you from walking into a trap blind, or missing a blessing because it came dressed like an inconvenience. You, of all signs, are built for this kind of truth. You were born under the energy of X-ray vision, rebirth, and sacred intensity. You don't need sugarcoating. You need clarity, delivered with compassion but also with honesty, sharp enough to cut through the fog. So let's talk about what is shifting around you and inside you as this portal of December 3rd opens. Lately, you may have felt like life has been speaking in half sentences. Random coincidences, names repeating, the same numbers on clocks, dreams that feel more like messages than stories. Maybe a certain person's energy keeps circling back into your orbit, or a situation you thought you were done with keeps echoing in new forms. That's because the universe has been trying to show you something you weren't fully ready to understand before. And tomorrow acts like a spiritual highlighter pen, dragging a bright line across the part of the page you were skimming past. This something big that is coming isn't always loud. Sometimes it is a quiet conversation that suddenly explains months of confusion. Sometimes it is a piece of information that lands so cleanly that it rearranges how you see an entire relationship, a job, a family dynamic, or your own past choices. Sometimes it is a yes you have been praying for. Sometimes it is a no dressed as a closed door. But whatever form it takes, it comes with one shared intention: to reveal what you missed, not because you were careless, but because you were surviving, protecting yourself, doing the best you could with what you knew then. Tomorrow's energy wants to upgrade what you know now. Every big shift begins with a moment where the veil thins. And for you, this moment has been building for a while. You might have been feeling restless without knowing why, like you're emotionally outgrowing your surroundings. People you used to tolerate now drain you faster. Conversations that once entertained you now feel empty. Places that used to feel safe now feel too small, like shoes you've worn for too many years. This is not you being difficult or dramatic. This is your soul finishing an old lesson. Spirit has been quietly rearranging the furniture of your life, moving things around, setting certain connections further from you, and pulling other possibilities closer. The something big approaching tomorrow is not just an event, it's a revelation, a moment where the picture finally comes into focus. It might arrive as clarity about who is truly with you and who is only around you. It may shine a light on who benefits from your confusion, from your self-doubt, from you underestimating your own gifts. It may reveal the contract, the agreement, the habit, The coping mechanism that kept you safe once but is silently sabotaging you now. That is the trap energy around this time. Not a monster waiting around the corner, but a pattern that would keep replaying if you didn't see it clearly. The cosmos doesn't want you living your next year on autopilot inside last year's wounds. So tomorrow, a conversation, a comment, an interaction, or a sudden inner knowing may show you, this is what I couldn't see before. And when that happens, I don't want you to gaslight yourself. Don't tell yourself you're overreacting. Don't talk yourself out of the truth just because it's inconvenient or emotional. You asked for signs. You asked for confirmation. You asked to not be left walking in circles. This is the answer. There is also a softer side to this energy. Something big is coming does not only mean crisis. It can also mean your breakthrough, your overdue good news, your long-awaited green light. For some of you, tomorrow carries the vibe of recognition, someone finally acknowledging what you've done, what you've endured, what you've contributed. A hidden admirer may step forward, or a distant friend may reach out with words you didn't know you needed. A job lead, a healing opportunity, a spiritual practice, or an invitation could appear that pulls you closer to the timeline you secretly thought was too good for you. It's as if the universe is saying, I saw you when you thought no one was watching. I saw the nights you stayed loyal to love, to faith, to your responsibilities, even when no applause came. I saw what you gave up. I saw what you survived. Now I am weaving something back toward you. And yes, this might make you cry too, not because of pain this time, but because you are not used to being seen so deeply, without having to perform, fight, or prove yourself. Let the tears come if they need to. Emotional release is part of revelation. You've been holding so much for so long. Not every strong person is meant to carry weight forever. Some strong people are being prepared to receive, to rest, to be supported differently. And you, Scorpio, are one of them. Tomorrow's big shift could be that you finally see yourself not as the problem to fix, but as the soul to honor. That simple change of inner narrative will alter who you choose, what you tolerate, and how you move. But I want to be honest with you. What is revealed may challenge your ego before it comforts your heart. You may realize that someone you defended was never truly defending you. You might see where you ignored red flags because you were in love with someone's potential or attached to a fantasy of how a situation should be. You may recognize how you shrank your light to stay in environments that never planned to grow with you. This is not about shame. Shame says, you were stupid. Truth says, you were trying to love. You were trying to believe. You were trying to belong. Tomorrow's energy doesn't come to humiliate you. It comes to graduate you. Graduation always means leaving a hallway you memorized, walking through a door into a space you've never navigated before. There is grief in that, even when the new space is better. Allow yourself to grieve the old illusions without running back to them. If someone's mask slips and you finally see their intentions clearly, don't chase the mask. Do not run after the version of them you built in your mind. Believe what is revealed. If an opportunity falls away right before you step into it, don't beg for entry. Ask instead, what is this saving me from? What am I being redirected toward? When something big comes, it rarely arrives alone. It tends to drag other truths up with it. Old feelings may resurface, memories may replay, not to haunt you, but to be refiled correctly in the story of who you are now. There is also a very specific message here about your intuition. In the past months or weeks, there were moments where your body knew something before your mind was ready to admit it. You felt tension around certain people. You felt uneasy before certain meetings. You felt a quiet no deep inside, even as your mouth kept saying yes. That was not paranoia. That was not you being too sensitive. That was spiritual data. Something big coming tomorrow may simply be the external confirmation that your inner knowing was right all along. When that happens, I want you to do something powerful. Apologize to yourself for the times you abandoned that inner knowing. Make a new agreement with yourself that from this day forward, you will treat your intuition like sacred instruction, not like background noise. Your path from here gets so much easier when you no longer force yourself to ignore what your body, your dreams, your spirit tell you. Some of you will notice that on this date or around it, your senses feel sharper. Lights, sounds, words, and facial expressions will carry more meaning. That is you slipping back into your natural state. The Scorpio who can read a room in seconds, who can feel the undercurrent beneath someone's smile, who can tell when energy shifts even before a situation changes. Use that gift not to spy or obsess, but to protect your peace and choose your path. Now let's talk about how this energy touches different corners of your life. In love, something big could look like this: finally seeing who is ready to build with you and who is just passing time. Tomorrow may bring a message, a confession, a truth-telling moment that clarifies whether a connection is truly soul-level or just ego-level. A person's actions may line up with their words for the first time, or finally contradict them so clearly that you cannot rationalize it away. Either way, that is revelation. You deserve the kind of love that doesn't hide you, confuse you, or make you feel like you're begging for crumbs at a banquet you helped prepare. In your friendships and family connections, hidden tensions may surface. That doesn't mean you're doomed to conflict. It means unspoken things want to breathe. Someone may finally admit what they resented, feared, or misunderstood. You may realize that you've been playing healer, referee, or emotional parent in relationships where you never got to just be yourself. Tomorrow can bring the turning point where you quietly lay down roles that do not belong to you and return responsibility back to the people it originally belonged to. That is not abandonment. That is integrity. Spiritually, tomorrow is like a checkpoint in a game where you've been leveling up without fully realizing it. You have been walking through tests of patience, of trust, of self-worth. You have left situations that wounded you. You have chosen silence instead of unnecessary war. You have chosen growth instead of revenge, even when a part of you wanted to sting. That counts. Heaven has been taking notes. The something big approaching is not a random plot twist. It is the natural result of you saying yes to your own evolution. Some of you will feel a call to pray, meditate, journal, or sit in stillness more than usual around this time. Answer it. Even if it's just 5 minutes with your phone on airplane mode and your eyes closed, breathe and ask, "Show me what I need to see. Prepare me for what is coming in a way that is gentle, clear, and aligned with my highest good." You are not at the mercy of fate here. You are in partnership with the divine. You are allowed to ask that your lessons come in loving form, not as chaos. And as we begin to close this message, I want to speak to your heart as if we were sitting across from each other in a quiet room, late at night, with nothing left to perform. Scorpio, you did not miss your whole life. You did not ruin everything. You did not block all your blessings. What you missed were simply pieces of truth that needed time to ripen. You were not blind. You were being protected from information that would have overwhelmed you too soon. The moment you are stepping into now is not a punishment. It is an unveiling. The light is being turned on gently in rooms you left dark for years. And as that happens, remember this: you are always free to take what resonates and leave the rest. This message, like all spiritual storytelling, is a mirror, one possible reflection of what your soul may be walking through, a symbolic map offered for contemplation, not a rigid script you are forced to live out. If it stirs something real in you, hold that part close. If any part feels off, let it drift away like a cloud. You are the author of your choices, the co-creator of your path, not a puppet of predictions. These words are not a guarantee of events, but an invitation to awareness, empowerment, and inner alignment, a kind of thought experiment for your spirit to explore what it would feel like to trust your own knowing more deeply. The true magic is not in the date or the cards or the stars. It is in what you decide to do when your eyes are finally open. So tomorrow when you wake up, remember this conversation. Pay attention to the small things, the tone in someone's voice, the way your body reacts when a message pops up, the sudden surge of clarity that tells you yes or no without a long list of pros and cons. Don't rush yourself, but don't ignore yourself either. If truth arrives in a whisper, honor it. If it arrives in a shock, breathe through it. No matter what appears, you are not alone facing it. You are surrounded by ancestors, by angels, by the future version of you who has already walked through this and is cheering you on from the other side. When the big thing arrives, whether it is a revelation, a blessing, a farewell, or an opening, look at it with brave, honest eyes and ask, how is this setting me free? What is this showing me that I wasn't able to see before? And then slowly, gently, choose in the direction of your peace. That is how you honor this energy. That is how you make sure you don't miss the miracle hidden inside the moment. If your heart is whispering, "This is my message," write it below. Declare, "I am ready to see clearly. I am ready for what is meant for me. I am ready to receive what I missed." Because once you say yes to clarity, Scorpio, your life has a way of rearranging itself in the most unexpected, luminous ways. Something big is coming, but so is a softer, wiser, freer version of you. And that, more than anything, is the revelation you have been waiting for all along.